Good Saturday afternoon, everybody. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day. Um, Today's topic is going to be newspaper carrier and the value it taught me. Well, what do I mean by that? Just 1 second here. So my topic today is going to be newspaper carrier, the value it taught me. Well, what do I mean by that? What value could possibly be in a newspaper carrier growing up teach you? Well, when you think about it, being a newspaper carrier taught me to work in the four seasons and the elements. Living in Canada, living in the Great White North, we experienced so many different climate changes. So one day we could be smoking hot, walking around in shorts, and the next day you're putting your parka on because it's cold, right? So I was a young lad. I was approximately 12 years old. I started delivering one of the national papers for the area. Got delivered, got off school, had to get my papers together, had to go out and deliver those papers. It didn't matter what the weather was. It didn't matter what excuses I could possibly come up with. It didn't matter what inner voice was saying to me, oh, I'd rather be in a nice warm house. It's freezing cold outside, it's blizzarding, or it's downpouring rain. I still had to go out and accomplish the task that I was hired to do, and that was to deliver the newspapers. And at 12 years of age, it taught me to have a value system that, you know what, just get her done. You have to do the job. You have to tough it out. You have to do what's required to fulfill the commitment that those people are expecting of you to get their newspaper to their door every single day. And on top of that, being a newspaper carrier taught me the responsibility of money. I know today, if you had a newspaper delivered, it's mostly electronic, or even if you still get it physically delivered to your house, what are people doing with that newspaper? Well, they're paying for it electronic means, right? I had a little book, I'd flip it open, I'd have little tags and it would say for this pay period. And I had to go around to, I'd say 90% of my clients did not pay directly to the newspaper company for an annual subscription. Every couple weeks I'd have to go and collect money. Well, guess what? It taught me responsibility of money because I still had to pay for example, I was delivering the Edmonton Journal. So the Journal still expected me to pay for the newspaper. Hey, Veronica. So I'd have to pay for the newspapers to the actual Edmonton Journal, to the newspaper. And whether or not my clients paid me, hey, Philip, there was a lot of people that weren't home. So I'm a little 12-year-old boy and I delivered newspapers for a couple of years. I'd go to those people's houses and try to collect, and they'd be home and sometimes they wouldn't answer the door. They'd run on for 2-3 weeks where they wouldn't pay. And being a young person, kind heart, I'd let some people go, and there was people that owed me sometimes for 2-3 months, and I would still deliver the paper to them and have to ring the doorbell because I'd have to go out another time to collect the money. I'd have to actually handle the money. I'd have to put that money, take it to the bank and put it into an account because I had to pay the newspaper by a check. Remember, I was 12 years old. It taught me responsibility. Delivering the newspaper itself in the four seasons taught me resiliency. It taught me the ability to not listen to that, what everybody calls that little bitch voice. Not that back then at 12 years of age I would have understood that. But as an adult, I look back and think to myself, oh, I don't want to go out in the cold to deliver the paper. I don't want to go out into the cold or the rain or the sleet or whatever to collect money. Oh, am I going to ring the doorbell and the person going to answer the door and actually pay me the $38 they owe me? Yet I still had to put that money that I did collect into an account, make sure I had enough money to pay the newspaper company. So already I had accounts receivables. The only real account payable I had was the newspaper, right? And I was doing that at 12 years of age, and I delivered the paper for quite a few years. 7 days a week we had the newspaper, right? I became a young entrepreneur, and there's things that I learned well back then that I've pulled forward into my current life today. And I reflect back on it and it brings a smile to my face because it was a great experience. a great experience to have to understand that no matter what the trials and tribulations, no matter what elements are happening, I have to go out and deliver the paper. I have to go out and collect this money. I have to make sure I have X amount of money put aside to pay this money to the newspaper. I have to make sure that, I was running a little business. Yes, it wasn't my sole business, but it was my business. I got my first checking account when I was like 12 years of age. How many 12-year-olds have a checking account back for those older that are listening, and even knew how to write checks? I had to learn how to write checks. I had to learn how to basically balance my books to make sure that my supplier, which was the newspaper company, would continue to supply me papers. Anyway, I hope you understand the message I'm trying to get across. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Aaron. Bottom line, being a newspaper carrier at such a young age helped develop me into the person I am today, right? I learned so many other lessons as well from working for my father at a very young age, and I'll do topics about that as well. But I think the true start to me being an entrepreneur, or having that entrepreneur spark, that fire in my heart, was being a newspaper carrier at a very young age. I hope this message helped. I hope that it resonated with some of you. Feel free to comment. Free to drop me a message. Comment, share this content. I appreciate you all. Have a fantastic Saturday. Love you all. Peace out.